welcome to Central Online. We have a special episode for you this week. We are going to be speaking about and looking at our new building project and just speaking to you about some of the stuff that's been going on, hear about what people are excited for, and a little word from Victor West as well. If you're like me, then you're really excited for our building project, but maybe you're not like me and you're not excited because it's just a building. But for us, it isn't really just a building. It isn't just four walls, but it is a vessel. I remember Glyn Barrett comparing a church building to a vehicle. If you imagine if you were young and you had a scooter in the block that you live on, and you only really had permission on your scooter to go so far up and down the drive. And then when you get older, you get a push bike and you can go a little bit farther, maybe throughout the tune a little bit, maybe to other tunes that are nearby. And then you get older and then you can get a car, and then you can go further, you can go on road trips. But then if you even go a level above that, you get planes and you can go to different countries, and you get spaceships and you can go to different planets. And really the building is the vehicle. It is the vessel that we use to reach our community. The bigger the vessel, then the more work we can do, the more that we can take on, and the more impact and reach that we have. So that's why we're excited for this building. It increases our capacity to reach our community, provide a place of hope and a safe space to preach the gospel and to see God glorified in this town. So that's why we're excited for this building. And now we're going to speak to the people at Life Groups and to hear what they're excited for the new building.
I'm really looking forward to a new church building because I'm so looking forward to outreach starting again, so that the people we love and care for can come into the church and get a warm welcome, and we can share stories and give them food and everything. I miss that at the moment, and it'll be brilliant, the big new building.
So what I'm looking forward to about the new building is about how we can get everybody in all together and seeing everybody worship in a large area and seeing a large stage of the band. I mean, what I'm looking forward most to is the media aspect of all, and just showing all the graphics and all the information on the big screen, and to work on it as well. It's pretty exciting stuff, and the ability to fill a lot more people in as well and see everybody together in a larger space compared to what we have doing at this church. So there's a lot of stuff we could do with it. I'm excited.
First thing, nae having a stack of seats after the service on a Sunday. But no, I'm looking forward to the bigger building, the next chapter of the AOG Central in a bigger building, hopefully getting more people coming to the AOG, more people coming to Jesus in a bigger capacity. So looking forward to that.
The thing I'm most looking forward to about the new building is the coffee. I think it'll be exciting to come out of service and cross over for the next service and meet new people and see the amount of people that come into the new building. I think it'll be great for the church and the community in Fraserburgh.
Hello, it's great to see you on Central Online again. We're all looking forward to a site visit, a building site visit in the coming week. We're going down to the church that's under construction, our new home, down the road in Fraserburgh. And that's all causing a little bit of a stir in the church at the moment as we look forward to that. And I know that Mark, the man behind the camera, the man that introduces the Central Online to us, he's also preparing something for you so we can see it online as well. So you can see our new building and what's happening there, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. We'll keep you up to date, and you can move through the stages of the building with us. We're at the moment, we're at going to base camp, and before we go to the next step of that, but we'll keep you updated as well, and you can join the journey with us. There's a lot of people been asking about the building, some not quite sure what it's about, others want to be part of the process. So we'll try and keep you up to date. I've been involved with a few site tours in my time. I've built a few factories with others. Some have been good fun, some have been stressful to build, and always a site tour can be a fun occasion. I remember one time I took a few of the investors to see a factory that we are almost finished. It was just a few weeks away from completion. And they went round the whole factory and they were really pleased with it. What they saw, they thought was great, and it all was working well. Until we got to the boardroom. We'd done a bit of work in the offices as well, and we walked into the boardroom. And my chairman, who I know pretty well, we've known each other for a long time, he hated the room. Now, I'm not saying I took a lot of notice to this, but this was a deep scar. You know, he absolutely hated the room. And because we know each other so well, he could tell me in very short and meaningful words how much he hated that room. So I was then given a list of improvements to make. So the next time he came up to see the factory, he wanted to see that list of things completed. So we went and we got the factory finished, and he visited the place a few weeks later. And he was delighted as he walked into the room, because the room was now perfect. It's interesting though, because he hated that one room, the rest of the factory was rubbish. Suddenly, because he liked that one room, the rest of the factory was brilliant. So he was pleased that the list of improvements that he left with us to do was all complete. I'm now going to be honest and let him know right here and now, we never made any of the improvements he asked for. We stuck to the original plan. He still likes the room. But the point is this, that sometimes when we see something in construction, we don't quite get it, we don't quite understand it, and we don't often like it. I'm sure that's not going to be the case with the building that we're in the progress of making. Sometimes we don't understand it. There's a story you get in the Bible, and Noah, who was given a plan to build the very first boat, Noah's Ark we know it as, the very first boat. He was given a plan from God himself, and he went and built the boat. This was an amazing feat of engineering. Let's face it, we've never seen boats before in the world, but still that plan is a foundation for most boats today. How boats actually float, I guess. But Noah went off to build this, and the people round about him did not understand it. They ridiculed Noah's Ark. They had no connection with the Ark. We also, obviously we know that the Ark worked. It saved a few lives. It was part of God's plan. And we know today that boats still float. So although people didn't understand it at the time, it worked, and it worked very well. There's another little story from the Bible about a few spies who went to see their new home. The children, there was a group, a nation, the Israelites they were called, they were moving from one place to another place. And the leader of the pack sent a few spies out to look at their new home. And they went and they looked at it, but they didn't understand it either. They thought, it's a bit difficult. Moving there is going to be hard. It's not what we expected. So they came back, or 10 of the 12 came back with a negative report. 2 of the 12 saw the good in the new place. They saw there would be challenges. They realised the challenges, but they said there's more good than there is difficult in the new home. So they kept moving forward towards that new home. Even with Jesus himself, many people knew Jesus, they met with Jesus, but they didn't understand what he was about or why he was here. And in our new place, at this moment in time, it looks like a bit of a black box. We're a little black box, and some people don't fully understand it. But hopefully as time goes on and we get to make the other alterations and we get the colours into that black box and we start to build the inside of it, we'll fully understand the dream, the vision for what that building will do and the purposes that it will have. Last week we were reminded, there was a minister or a pastor, a church leader here at one point called Jack Gibson. And he said when they opened a building that they claimed it as a place of worship. The new church, we're going to have community things in there. We're going to have food banks. We're going to have clothes banks. We're going to serve the community. We're going to have toddlers groups. We're going to have youth groups, kids groups. We're going to have friendship. We're going to have the encore for those that are a little bit older. We're going to serve all generations of the community. But fundamentally, the building will be claimed as a place of worship as well. And that's important. And I just want to tell you for a few more minutes today, I want to talk about a lady in the Bible who did an amazing act of worship for Jesus. We're not told much about her. What we do know is that she loved Jesus dearly. There's no doubt about that. But what we know first is that Jesus loved her and her family. He cared for them. He looked after them. And that's the amazing thing about Jesus. So often people say, I love Jesus, or I want to be connected with Jesus. But that is often a reaction to Jesus' love and care, compassion for us first. He is that person that looks after us first. And he did that with this lady as well. We don't know what this woman looked like. We're not told that. We're not quite sure if she had a husband or children. We know she had a sister and a brother. We're told about that in the Bible. We're told that she loved Jesus, that's for sure. He had a massive impact on her life. I want to draw our attention to pick up the story of this lady in Mark 14 in verse 8. We read about her before that, but in Mark 14 in verse 8, the verse starts like this. And it's Jesus who's speaking, and he says this, she did what she could. What a great start to a verse that is. I would love it if Jesus was to say about me, he did what he could. And just before that, in verse 6, he says, he stands up for the lady. He says, leave her alone, said Jesus. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing for me. So at this point of she did what she could, it wasn't that she just did enough. She went way beyond what a normal person would have done. She came to a point where she wanted to honour Jesus, bless Jesus, give Jesus something, and she did what she could. She caused complete confusion. In the story, they were all having a meal together. There was a whole crowd of them together, and she took out this jar of expensive perfume or ointment, and she broke it on Jesus. And the people there at the time were a bit confused about the whole thing. They were a bit, feet shuffles. And Jesus said, don't worry about it. What she's done is a beautiful thing, a great thing. It was an expensive act that she did. The estimation is that jar of perfume could have been as much as a year's wages. She took a whole year's wages and broke it over Jesus. You know, today, what can we do? What can we do? You know something? I want to just maybe bring 3 R's very, very quickly in the next minute or so. The first thing that she did was that she recognised that Jesus was special. She maybe annoyed and made everyone angry, the fact that she recognised that Jesus was special. And I want to challenge us all today in our lives and right here and now. Do we recognise who Jesus is? I don't know if you saw Central Online last week. Chloe spoke. I thought she was absolutely brilliant. A young mother, a young lady, she's married to my younger cousin. I thought she made him look very good, actually. She was absolutely brilliant. But you know something? That was a story of a young lady's life that was changed now, today. It's real. I'm telling you about a story that happened a few thousand years ago, but it's not left for a few thousand years ago. This Jesus I'm talking about is relevant today as he was then. Just go through the life stories that you'll see the relevance of Jesus. And as part of that, we need to recognise who he is. He's not a historical figure, but he is a person that changes people's lives right here and now. And that sort of leads me to the second point, which is this, that she responded to Jesus. Jesus was in the community, Jesus was going about, and Mary did an act towards Jesus. She responded to him at that time. And some of us at this moment in time just need to respond to Jesus. And that might be that you've watched online, or you've been to church lately, or you've been with family or friends and they've been talking about Jesus, they're showing you about Jesus, and you say, I need to connect with that. I need to understand a little bit more about that. Can I ask you to respond to him today? There might be others, and your response might be towards a building project and help and support in that. It might be towards a good deed or help or support in the community, but respond today. She recognised who he was. From that recognition, she responded. And the last R, very quickly, is she received. You know, Jesus defended her that day. He stuck up for her that day. And he said these amazing words, for future, we will remember what she has done. What a gift to be given from Jesus Christ, that he said about her that she did what she could. And this act of kindness, this act of recognition, this response will always be remembered. Mary loved Jesus from before that moment, but from that moment on, she received from Jesus as well. And just as I finish today, I just ask you, make sure that you respond to Jesus today, because you need to receive what he has for you and for your life. I hope you have a great day. Bless you, and we'll keep you involved and up to date with everything that's happening around the building, and you can support that as well if you want. See you soon.
And so concludes our episode of Online. Thank you to you for watching. Thanks to Victor for bringing a condensed version of his word. And thanks to everyone at Life Groups who I pestered to be in the video. Thank you for doing that for Online. If you really want to get involved in the life of the church, if you want to start this relationship with God, then please, our contact details are on screen now. Do not hesitate to get in contact with us. Someone on the other side of that email will receive that and get back to you as soon as possible. So please do not hesitate to get in contact with us with anything at all. If you need prayer or you just want someone to speak to. And so that's all for Church Online this week. We'll see you next week.